Assalamu alaikum. Peace be upon you and peace be upon all of us. Te whare o tēnei tēnā koe. Te papa e waho ne tēnā koe. Te mana whenua o tēnei rohi tēnā koutou. Tanga mate ke tanga mate, haere, haere, haere. Tēnā ora kia tātou, tanga ora tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou katoa. Good evening. Please start your dinner. Don't wait for me. I could be some time, so don't hold back. Look, greetings first of all to our brothers and sisters of the Muslim community here in Ottawa. It's a great honour to be here this evening. Greetings also to our members of Parliament, a councillor, deputy police chief, and other dignitaries that are here. I'm going to say a few words about the effect of the attacks on New Zealand and where we've come as a country since then. But I would like to repeat on many occasions that it is a great honour to be here this evening, and I thank the organisers for bringing this event together. On Friday, March 15th, was a day which changed New Zealand, when a coward tried to terrorise us and tear us apart. Our Muslim brothers and sisters were attacked in a callous and cowardly act of terrorism, an horrific and unprecedented attack on 2 mosques in Christchurch. 50 people were murdered, 50 more were wounded, and many remain in hospital. This was an attack that affected the Muslim community most directly. Innocent people who were killed and maimed as they practiced their religion. It was an incident that has reverberated around the world. We know that this incident has had a profound effect on Muslim communities, not just in Canada, but around the world, here in Canada included. But in our darkest hour as a country, we've been overwhelmed and humbled by the messages of sympathy, by the support, by the solidarity we've received from our friends. From here in Canada, the support has been incredibly generous. You share our core values and our way of life. You share our freedoms, and you have shared in our grief. The prayers, the vigils, the speeches, the memorials across Canada have demonstrated this support. And I would like to thank not just the organisers and the politicians who say the words, but all of the community here tonight that have gathered. It does mean a lot. New Zealand, we're very much, and I'm sorry if I get a bit emotional tonight. The photos there, bring it home. And it's still very raw, I think, for my country. We're very much a peace-loving nation in New Zealand. We're one of the most multicultural nations on earth. We have over 200 different ethnicities, over 160 different languages that we speak. Our diversity is something we value and we celebrate. We are a great country because of the people who call our slice of paradise home. So as a New Zealander, I was very shocked, extremely shocked, saddened, and also angry by the terrorist attack that took place, because it strikes against our core values. In a country that practices religious tolerance, an attack on one of us observing their beliefs is an attack on all of us. Muslims are part of our community. They are our friends, our colleagues, our neighbours, and as our Prime Minister has said repeatedly, they are us. This is a national tragedy on a scale with which we're not familiar. It will change our nation, but we will never forget. As a New Zealander, I am very proud of the way my government and my fellow New Zealanders have responded. Across the length and breadth of the country, there is a profound and genuine sense of grief and loss. Millions have embraced their Muslim neighbours. They've laid flowers at mosques up and down the country. Tens of thousands have attended vigils. They have visited our mosques and stood guard outside. And they've given money to the families of those who have suffered directly. As a nation, we will pay respect to the dead, the maimed, and the bereaved. We're unified in mourning with the families. When our Parliament convened just after the attack, it opened for the first time with an Islamic prayer and in the presence of several imams and representatives of other faiths. The entire country stopped for a call to prayer, broadcast on radio and TV stations, and this was followed by 2 minutes silence. And then we stopped again for a national memorial service. Moving forward, the government is providing every support to the living victims of this despicable attack. We will look after them. Ensuring Muslim communities in New Zealand feel safe and secure is a top priority. Police are standing guard outside all our mosques to ensure people can pray in peace. There is an elevated police presence throughout the country. But in less than 1 week, we introduced new strict gun control measures. The semi-automatic weapons used in the terrorist attack are now banned in New Zealand. This was done in 6 days. We are now confronting the way social media is used to spread vile hatred. For extremism has no race, religion or colour. It must be condemned, whatever form it takes. The attacker, who is not from New Zealand, will face the full force of New Zealand law. He is a terrorist, a criminal and an extremist. Our police have mounted the largest ever investigation in the history of New Zealand. While no punishment can match the depravity of his crime, the families of the fallen will have their justice. But we will not remember this terrorist. My Prime Minister has made clear we will not use his name. We will not give him any sense of fame or notoriety. We will instead remember the victims. We will remember those who have been lost from our communities. We will support those whose lives have been permanently scarred. We will celebrate the many acts of bravery that took place on 15 March. Whenever a terrorist strikes, the aim is to provoke fear and panic. In New Zealand, it failed. It failed because our thoughts are not the terrorist thoughts and his extremist ways are not ours. In New Zealand, hate speech is not tolerated. New Zealand is and will remain a safe and open society, a place where international visitors feel comfortable and secure. We're a compassionate and tolerant people. And New Zealand is united with the Muslim world in our opposition to terrorism. We've been humbled by the global support from the Muslim community and all communities in standing with us in our bleakest hour. And we're now calling on our friends and our partners to stand together in addressing and eradicating the hate-filled ideologies that led to last Friday's terrible tragedy. The New Zealand government has made it clear that we will look at the role of social media platforms and will work with partners, including Canada, on the international stage to take steps to stop the likes of Christchurch happening again. The door must be firmly closed to those who espouse hate and fear. So again, I thank you for your love, your prayers and your support. There's been many attempts for people to talk about what happened in Christchurch, but there is one phrase that has stood out for all of us, and that is Assalamu alaikum, peace be upon you. Shukran.
Thank you so much, Excellency, for the beautiful words. Next, I'd like to call upon Dr. Mustafa and Ahmed Khalil to present a special gift. His Excellency.
That's just for the Prime Minister, so will be carried later.
All right, so actually we have quite a few gifts, and thank you to our Sisters Committee. They've been working on all these gifts. So this gift is particularly for the Prime Minister of New Zealand. this one is specifically this one is for His Excellency Daniel.
Your Excellency, dignitaries and MPs, thank you very much for taking time to be with us. This is a special occasion, one that we will cherish forever. And I'm conveying this to you on behalf of the President of AMA, this organization, who cannot be with us, Jalil Maknoush. He's outside of the country, and we hope that he will come back safely and sound. So I'm conveying his gratitude and thanks to you on his behalf. Thank you very, very, very much. And bon appetit to all of you. Yes.
That concludes our program. Thank you all for coming and enjoy your dinner.
Okay.